Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We're with Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal and Rich from Goof On. We've been investigating the UFO phenomenon here in California. We got Brent behind the camera right now, and we're going to get into a little discussion in regards to, the rise of UFO sightings. They're actually becoming more clear. The footage is getting better, and it seems the major media doesn't want to touch it. But what do you think of the rise, Michael? What's the true nature of these craft, this metapropulsion vehicle?
We're sitting in a very precarious time right now, where we have access to many technologies that we couldn't have dreamed about 100 years ago. Now we're seeing things in our skies wherein it may be indicative of some of our governments working on high technology, wherein they're having a parallel technological progression the same way we are, only on a different scale. So whether that technology...
Start over again.
Whether that technology comes from back-engineered craft or something that in the way of reconnaissance, remains to be determined. But there are many stories, and it's not just in the way of anecdotal evidence these days that we're finding some of this evidence, bringing these stories to light and more into question. As time goes on, I think we're going to find some answers, but it's going to trickle in, and we'll have to compose this composite of a puzzle in the end.
Yeah, exactly, Michael. But it's kind of crazy to imagine on how fast the advancement of technology has come in such a short amount of time. So I'm still leaning that there are craft out there engaging, our military, engaging with the public itself. But then again, there's this private faction of technology, in my opinion, that's been hidden so long, right? We should be living in the Jetsons. Right now, we're at Pancho's Tacos, and there's a lot of traffic and pollution in the sky here. But other than that, sunny California, it doesn't get much better than this. But could you imagine flying vehicles, Tic Tacs, getting us around, how it could be changed up so drastically if they just revealed the true technology that they have within their assets, Rich?
Absolutely. We should be flying cars, flying toys, flying boats, everything. I mean, we should be hovering anywhere we want to go, like the Jetsons, just get in your glass-mobile and take off and go wherever you want. The reason I think that is because it always comes down to what? Money. It's always about money.
Keep going.
Gas, oil, all that stuff still has to be used because they want to make their billions and trillions of dollars on consumption of this, this stuff that gets us around now. Yeah, it's a weird world we're living in. It's all political, in my opinion. Thank you. I think that if we get the right people in government, and I'm not saying, it has to be anybody we know now, but if we could find the right person that can sit in Congress and go through these meetings and push people to talk about this more openly, I think it would quell the fear that has been building over the years because of this threat assessment. It's really a little bit ridiculous for me, but I understand the military's point of view. But I'm telling you, it's all about money. That's why we're stuck where we are with gas, fuel, oil, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think we'll be where I want to be in the next 20 years. It might take a little longer than that.
Beautiful, look at that.
Yeah, this is Pancho's Tacos, pretty much the best place in LA to get your Mexican food. But what's really interesting to me is that it seems they're wanting to trickle it down so slow. And the reason behind this, in my opinion, is maybe the infrastructure is not ready for it. You'd have to build a certain infrastructure to, cart the Tic Tac around, and maybe it's just too expensive, this technology. We don't have enough money around to afford this technology, so they're waiting for the right time to release it. And maybe this slow rollout is definitely scripted, in my opinion. But some people are saying within the community is we have no choice, and this is the way it needs to be rolled out. I kind of find it frustrating because there's a lot of people in the field that have been passionate about this for 30, 40 years, and they're just all of a sudden kind of going with the narrative, and they're not demanding that we should get full disclosure immediately. They're kind of feeling that it's okay for this slow rollout. They're just happy that it's being talked about now.
Yeah.
And I could understand that as well. Michael, so if they did roll out this technology and reveal to the public they've been hiding this for over 74 years, how do you think the public would handle this? Would they be okay with it?
Well, if they were to reveal that they've been withholding information about technology or even awareness of extraterrestrial presence for as long as we believe they have, the public at large would be very upset, and the implication would then come in way of what else have you been hiding? In revealing one of those lies that have been around for so long, you're going to, by and large, have to stem off and investigate all the peripheral lies that stem from that. I mean, these are multiple narratives that we've heard throughout the years that sort of course into the vein of one strong central narrative, but at the same time, it's all about the secrecy. Hey, we don't have this, and yet we're seeing the exact contradiction when we look up into our skies. So the American public, I believe, by and large, would be incredibly upset, and then would shift them into possibly another paradigm of thinking wherein they now have to scrutinize everything that our governments have told us.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of disagree with Michael, to be honest with you. Sorry about that, Michael. Because I think people are going to have that knee-jerk reaction, and they're going to say, better late than never. And we're going to give them, the government's going to give them an explanation that'll be like, oh, wow, we didn't know that. It's going to be so amazing, you wouldn't have even thought of it. There's no way you could have figured it out. And I think the American people, it's in my throat, the American people will actually be happy that it's finally out. No more swept under the rug, no more making fun of people, you know, all that stuff. So that's how I feel. I don't think people will get mad. I think they might. Some people will, of course, but once they get the explanation why they had to keep it secret, we're going to be all right. No rioting, nothing like that.
Yeah, sure, people are going to be happy about it, for sure. But what about the people that suffered in the past? Maybe there's medical breakthroughs that would have come of this technology. They just missed the boat. There might be people that are bitter, like they've had this all this time, and they've been lying to us. Now, why should we believe anything they say from then on if they've been lying to us for 74 years? It's like people, I think there might be some kind of a public reaction. It depends on how they roll it out, right? If they give us this free energy and we utilize it, they're not going to charge us up to kazoo for it, and they give it to us for free, and kind of moderate this technology with AI so we could integrate these incredible vehicles that could get us around the planet within 15 minutes anywhere we want. It's exciting times because I think they're going to roll it out, but there might be some ramifications if they admit we've had these extraterrestrial technology and these beings since 47 or even prior.
Okay, what you said, very cool. I understand it. Why couldn't they give this to us earlier and maybe save lives? People have cancer. Maybe it cures cancer, whatever technology that they have, or medication, whatever. Well, you're talking about aliens. I mean, you got to test it for at least a couple of decades before you hand it out to the public and make sure we can have a long-lasting relationship with the aliens, if that's true. So I see what you're saying. People will get mad, but I think the way they roll it out and explain everything, well, I hope they do it the right way, that it makes sense, and everybody be like, all right, I understand this thing came from a creature we never seen or even knew existed. Then we're just going to use their medicine hopefully to work on a human. I mean, these things have one eye, 6 heads, who knows? I mean, so I think you can't just say, hey, we could have saved lives if we could have used that technology. But I guess it all depends on how it helps people, how it could hurt people. I don't know, man. You got to test that stuff out.
Well, I must admit that I do see where both of you are coming from. In many ways, I agree with both of you. But at the same time, there's really going to be one outcome to this dissemination of some information like this. The question is, will it be violent in the way of uprising? Is this something that will take people emotionally, enough to do something like that? I don't really know. I think this may be more of an intellectual revelation rather than something that may become physical. If they do indeed, look at this and say, all right, one lie, another lie, we have to investigate everything, then they find other lies being uncovered beyond that, that might lead down the road to a little bit more unrest. but just to be revealing some of the information that we know in the way of UFOs and extraterrestrials, high technology. Even if we think, or we understand that they did lie to us, again, that'd be something very precursor to what would come next in the way of any sort of behavior. I think we would be okay in the way of violent uprise. It's not something that will hook people emotionally. First, it'll be intellectual.
So the Congress is apparently going to be having hearings, right? That's what we've been hearing, that they're going to get together. There's going to be some public hearings in regards to the phenomenon. Who are they going to bring forward? Are they going to be dealing with the public's evidence for a change, or is it strictly going to be these, leaked videos coming in that the Pentagon's saying, hey, these are legit, but they're not actually saying they're extraterrestrial by any means. They're just blurry videos that we're getting. But we're hearing that there is some possible video that's going to be coming out showing this Tic Tac or gimbal within like 50 feet from these fighters. And they got it in crystal HD clarity footage. So do you think this is going to come up in the hearing, or is it like they're going to keep it with these cut videos, edited, redacted videos, or we're going to get some of the real evidence, the good evidence we've been waiting for all this time?
I would like to think that they might give us a couple of seconds of this 23-minute video, but I'm not too confident, because they've had the opportunity since they released the 3 videos, Gimbal, Go Fast, and whatever, Tic Tac. With all the mainstream media we've seen and all the talk on mainstream media, you'd think we would be there by now, but we're not. So I don't think when Congress gets into action, they're all of a sudden going to whip out 5 minutes of a 23-minute HD video of a craft 50 feet away. Just don't see it. Once they do that, then they have a lot to explain, and I don't think they want to open up that Pandora's box.
Well, I think these videos, and I agree, Rich, they're probably not going to give us a smoking gun video, obviously, but they're going to have to do something to get the public awareness, because right now, after they've come out with these Tic Tacs and these preliminary hearings, everything kind of just dropped off the radar. You don't see it on the major news anymore. The talking heads have no playtime on the major media. Maybe this was deliberate to, bore the public with these videos and desensitize them to something that is so irrelevant. Like we're kind of discussing the UAP verbiage.
Yeah.
We went around Los Angeles, and out of 50 people we asked, nobody knew what a UAP was. They're looking at these videos. Now the public's thinking it's a typical same thing that we've been dealing with. These, terrible fuzzy shots. You barely can see what's going on. And then when you have these, players saying the same thing over and over again, it's a threat, it's a threat, it's a threat, when there is no evidence of that. So, I don't know, it seems like the public's kind of losing interest in the phenomenon due to these players kind of destroying the whole field. If they were putting up the videos that we receive from the public, there'd be an uprise in the curiosity in the phenomenon. They're bored to death with these leaked videos. It's interesting because when we spoke to Stephen Bassett a few days ago, he was giving us some insight, and there's some things that we can't talk about at the moment, but he's super excited. Something's going to drop in his opinion, and I guess in September 20th, somewhere around there, it's going to be dropped. This public hearing is going to take place. Well, I think it's the start, and Stephen Bassett seems positive in the nature of how things are going. We'll see on how it goes, and hopefully we could be as optimistic as Stephen. But right now, we're going to keep asking the public to submit their evidence, and we're going to share it as fast as possible. So that's what we're going to continue to do, man. How's the lunch? Did you guys enjoy it?
Probably the best Mexican food I've ever had.
never be followed home. Way back home, a cosmic traveler. The way back home, a cosmic cowboy. The way back home. I'll be the first to see what hides between the lines. More than what we thought. Life can never be the same. Beyond horizons carved into the fabric of time. Don't need a way back home. The stars a chandelier, no interruption of rhyme. Don't need a way back home. Lying way between the poles, where realities melt, where light and dark don't oppose. This is the realm that I lead, and as with everything, none is mine, but I traverse the skies, forging avenues the course may never be followed.
Third Phase of Moon, a Cosmic Cowboy, available right now on iTunes and all streaming audio platforms, including the exclusive Third Phase of Moon Cosmic Cowboy merch. The store is open, the links are below. Support the channel. Download the single Cosmic Cowboy right now and get your merch. Third Phase of Moon Cosmic Cowboy. The links are below.